A few months ago, I got a new colony of rough harvester ants, which I named the bulldozers. And you're about to see why they quickly became my new favorite colony. Before I had my own colonies, my favorite ant videos to watch were the ones where they had outgrown their old nest and needed to move into a new one. And while the bulldozers hadn't exactly outgrown their test tube, they had the numbers for a new nest. They were also forming tiny prison riots, more desperate to get out than a teenager stuck at a family reunion. Well, far be it from me to deny my little monsters, so I have this desert-themed formicarium that I think will be perfect. And this time, I've got my tools on standby, just in case we get into a situation like before. I connected the tube and watched. For the first time in their lives, the door was open to a world beyond their test tube. They immediately rushed out like a crowd of shoppers on Black Friday. A few started to summit the Great Hill. Others started forming a trash pile. Another why is she walking like that? That's so weird. One great thing about harvester ants is that when it comes to climbing, they have the grip strength of a buttered eel. I'm pretty sure I could leave the lid off and they'll never get out. Once the cave was discovered, they began to venture into the cavern below the mountain, seeing if this could make a suitable home for their beloved queen, who I've decided to name Queen Barley. At this point, word had reached the queen that there was a new world outside the nest. Curious to see if the rumors were true, she headed towards the entrance. Gazing upon what would become her new territory, she decided to fall back and let the workers do their job of securing the land until it was safe. The bulldozers continued mapping all 12 square inches of this vast desert, but it didn't seem like they were ready to move just yet, because I saw some of them bringing seeds and a fruit fly back into the nest, so I left them overnight. The next morning, I found an empty tube, except for one stubborn worker.
I was born in this tube, and I'll die in it.
No, you won't. The bad news is that there was condensation everywhere, which even allowed them to climb the walls. I removed the cover to the nest and these are the lessons that we learn. You see, I had hydrated the nest to raise the humidity, and it was a particularly cold night. So to keep them warm, I put the nest on a heating pad, completely forgetting that warm, humid air plus cold surface equals condensation. They had also seized this opportunity to stick a bunch of sand onto the glass, which now makes it very hard to get a good shot inside the nest. What a bunch of little turds. It's okay though, because I learned my lesson and found out that their genus, Pogonomyrmex, does just fine in extremely dry environments anyway. So, problem solved. Over the next few days, things started to really get entertaining, because from here on out, observing the bulldozers was like watching a tiny sitcom. To start, they changed their minds about where the trash should go, and established a new garbage pile in this corner, which I agree was clearly the right move. The water tower seemed to be getting some attention, but we'll come back to that in a minute. And this worker was just sitting by the cactus, doing weird poses. Why was she doing this? I have no idea, but I'm calling her Yoga Master. I'm calling this one Spider-Man, who is the only one having any success climbing the walls. The more I observed, the funnier things got. These ants are feisty, not too bright, and often display the dexterity of a drunk giraffe on ice skates. But they were busy, except for the ones gathered around the water tower, which had become the cultural hotspot of social activity for the colony. It's just the place to be, I guess. Even the queen came out just to hang out by the water tower. I don't know if they're drinking, plotting, or both, but whatever's happening in these little meetings is serious business. I wondered if this was because I stopped hydrating the nest, and maybe they did like some humidity. So I tried connecting a clean test tube to give them an option. And the next day, they had moved in. So I plugged the nest entrance, and we'll use this as their outworld. Back in the garden, Yoga Master had gained a follower. I can honestly say I wasn't expecting to find ants teaching wellness classes, yet here we are. Looks like they're doing downward ant. Oh, and their garbage pile had moved yet again. Why? Who can say? I decided to give them some protein, and watch how they responded. It was definitely drawing a lot of attention, but no one really knew what to do with it. Their problem-solving skills can sometimes be surpassed by a potato, until one little genius decided to tackle the challenge head-on. Get it? She fought that thing for a while, but I have to admire her resilience here because this ant was not giving up. And although I have seen a toddler handle chopsticks with more grace, she finally managed to get the head out of the dish. Alright, victory! Time to carry it directly into the nest, right? Wrong. I proceeded to watch her wander around the outworld for a painful amount of time. Like, as long as it took to carry the ring to Mordor kinda long. After I had grown a beard and thought about life for a while, she was finally arriving at the nest. Thank God. I thought that... Wait, where are you going? No. Okay, we're good. Wait, no! What? Okay, that's it. Okay. Whew. Glad that's over. I found the hobby of ant keeping to be a lot like gardening. It's not super exciting or flashy, which requires you to slow down and observe. Do that long enough though, and you start to notice all kinds of little patterns, behaviors, and quirks that most people wouldn't see or appreciate. But it's exactly those little things that I've noticed that have caused me to fall in love with keeping these tiny creatures as pets. It's therapeutic and satisfying when you see growth, even if the process is slow. All in all, I have fallen in love with this colony of harvester ants, and I'm excited to watch the journey of the bulldozers continue, as the story of the ants marches on.